Okay, shalom, shalom. Kwam Yasha Allah, Kohaloim La Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah HaKadosh. And double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and that by the Spirit taught us His beautiful truth. And just want to say the water to all the H.I.M and H.I.M that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai to the best of their ability. This is Yah Chanan Nawah. Just coming at you with another quick lesson, praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. And this is Esau, talking about his weapon, that sword. Just get the title here. It says, the DOJ and ATF announced regulatory reforms to reduce burdens on law-abiding gun owners and businesses. Yeah, because they're going to need it with this Egyptian against the Egyptian that's coming upon this place. Right? So, a bunch of damn Edomites. I think when Biden was there, those Democrats, a lot of those different sets of Democrats, they kind of try and come up with rules and regulations to overall, they really don't want these people having no guns in reality. But this is that Trump regime, man. The megas want their guns. They need it, and they're gonna need them, and they're not giving them up anyway. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they're gonna just, school shootings are up. Shootings in all these different places are up. I have a right to protect myself. Now, this new guy, Blanche. He says the Second Amendment is not a second-class right, said the U.S. Attorney General Todd Blanche. This Department of Justice is ending the weaponization of federal authority against law-abiding gun owners. We all continue to vigorously defend their rights as the Constitution demands. So now, you got Jake going out here, so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, Israelites. They're actually going out and buying guns. They're able to bear arms, but when this Constitution, this Second Amendment and all that other shit was written, or, just Esau's Constitution in general, Jake couldn't own no damn gun. Jake couldn't even, he wasn't even allowed to read. Right? So these people are very hypocritical, but and still, even with Jake being able to have weapons today, it's still one-sided. You know what I'm saying? Like, a so-called white man, he can claim self-defense, and the so-called black man can be in that same position and claim self-defense. But so-called black man is going to be put through hell trying to prove himself. You got situations, like you had a situation here in Detroit about a week or so back where 3 people got killed. And it was a so-called, it was pretty much, so-called black on black, and they didn't press charges on this guy, which I was kind of surprised. But I mean, all the evidence showed that, it was self-defense. He was just, So, but had that been like a reversal, you know what I'm saying? Like, say, like, he had tried to defend himself against 3 so-called white people. No, they would have definitely, they did take him, to jail. Of course, you're going to, go into custody, it's an investigation. They're going to, ask everybody questions, interview everybody, and this, that, and the third, you know what I'm saying? But they didn't keep him, you know what I'm saying? They ended up letting him go, with no charges, you know what I'm saying? Because the people in the car, they actually, was hanging out of the damn window with a rifle, you know what I'm saying? So by the time this guy pulled up and stopped, they had pulled up on him, and then, one guy, all 3 of them jumped out of the car. And one guy ended up opening this man's door and, pretty much jumping in on him, and somebody in the back seat ended up just letting shots go, and they hit all 3 of those people. A young lady and 2 young men. They was all in their 20s. But, he ended up, getting off from that. But I'm just saying, for an example of, had that been, had he shot and killed 3 so-called white people, that would have went very differently. Just saying, with Esau's law, that's how you know that he's running the planet. This is his kingdom. He can say what goes. He can say, who's justified and who's not, because this is a very unrighteous place. It's not a righteous place at all. But, yeah, this is something that Esau, he fights for. And just going up to Esau and that blessing that was given to him by our forefather Isaac. He was blessed with the fatness of the earth, and with that weapon, man, with that, with that sword. That's the reason why he's all over the place, constantly at war. Because America's been at war for like 240 of the 250 years that it's been a country. And now they're about to spend, I don't even know why it costs that much. They say $52 million to change, I guess, the name of the Department of Defense to the Department of War. $52 million. That's crazy work, bro. And you got all this shit going on. But that, I mean, that's Esau, though. He is a bloody man, man. He's a bloody man. He was, he takes peace from the earth, just like it says in the book of Revelation. He's that man of sin, the son of perdition. And he has to be revealed. Because, see, there's a bunch of Edomites right here. I'm not saying all of them are Edomites, but because you do have Israelites that look like these guys. Some of them, a few of them sprinkled in there could be Israelites. But this is overall some Edomite shit. They're going to fight tooth and nail for that weapon, man. Constantly testing new missiles, constantly testing new and then they just, let me see, it was another article too, where they just cleared another $70 billion for ICE, which is crazy work too, because they know, they know that shit is about to break down. I mean, it's already broken down. They know that shit is about to happen, man. It's about to be chaos on these streets, man. That second Esdras 15 about to come into play, because it's going to get very hard for people to eat soon. You can still go and get some things, yes. You can still go and buy a few things, but shit is expensive as fuck right now. And it's only going to get more expensive. I know here in Michigan, now gas is at $5 a gallon. I ain't seen that shit since 9/11. When 9/11 first went down. And then at the same time, too, why is it that way when Trump is saying that, you got all this oil, you got all these refineries, you got all, you're the biggest supplier in the world, so to speak. You don't get any oil from over there through the Strait of Hormuz, so to speak. At least that's what they're saying. So why the fuck are your citizens' gas so much here in America if that's not affecting, if it has nothing to do with the Americans, so to speak? Because this man's a fucking liar, bro. He even weaponized that media, manipulating the fucking market. That shit going up and down. So it's really, man, it's about to get chaotic in this place, man. Got people crashing out. And then you got people out here, they're going to go and vote thinking that something's going to change. And it's not going to change. People been voting. Ever since you've been voting for these past couple of 100 years, your shit been getting worse. It's been getting worse, man. And it's not going to get any better. And we pray that it don't get no better. Yeah, Esau bought that gun, man. He ain't giving up that gun. Yeah, but that's pretty much about it on that article there. Just kind of sitting, was like, yeah, that dude, he about that. This the new DOJ guy right here. Weirdo. You know what I'm saying? Another Epstein protector. Then I guess Trump just needed another DOJ to, kind of go, because he won a lot of, his enemies from the last elections. You remember he went after all those people with Pam Bondi. She got no convictions. They threw all that shit out. So I guess with this new guy right here, he's gonna get some of that shit done. Because Trump is very vindictive. Because they done indicted James Comey again, the other FBI director. They just indicted his ass like a few months back, and they didn't get, Pam Bondi. I guess she didn't do a good job. She couldn't get none of this shit to stick. So then that other so-called black lady, I think the attorney, she was an attorney out there in New York or something, that brought some charges against Trump. So everybody that came against Trump, you know what I'm saying, when he had the little mug shot and all that shit, and going to jail and, them felonies and, all that shit like that, those very people, he's starting to, he wants their asses gone. He really would like them probably deleted overall, but he definitely want the ass in jail, so he has been using the DOJ as his personal, a little tack dog. But yeah, says gun control advocates condemn the rollback as reckless, citing a recent armed breach attempt at the White House Correspondents Association dinner. And so, see, they you know, everybody gonna use whatever. But, you know, on the Republican side, they can say, well, no, that's the very reason why we need guns. You know? A citizen could have stopped this man from running through there. Because you do have law-abiding citizens that carry weapons, you know. Everybody not out here just fucking crazy. Now, I know they do have a new law, too, where, I'm not sure if it's all over, but I mean, here in Michigan, where they can, if somebody say something about you, or they can say, well, he was acting erratic, or he was, you know, he didn't seem quite right today, you know, and I know he owns a gun. They can, you know, they can come and confiscate your weapons, man, you know, just from somebody saying something like that about you. And then I think it, you know, it further goes off into the mentally ill too, you know, well, you don't want no mentally ill motherfuckers with no guns. But these people are, you know, they crashing out anyway, so, and it's about to get real bad out here, man. So that's why we say to be circumspect, to watch and pray. Because you better believe these gas prices alone is going to send people crashing out, man. Because the diesel, I seen some diesel this morning. This shit's crazy, bro. This shit is like $6 a gallon, and that's here. I can't even imagine like places, you know, other states. You know what I'm saying? That shit is just outrageous for this particular state, bro. And I think they just put up, well, the governor put a tax or something on the gas. It's just whatever, man. You know, I just come to the job, get my little daily bread, and I'm back at the crib anyway. I don't even go nowhere once I get home. I don't go anywhere on the weekend. You know, I go to camp on Saturday, and shit, my shit is parked on Sunday. I generally don't go anywhere unless it's just something I really, really have to do. But shit, I got a brand new bicycle in the fucking garage. I got like 3 years back. I really didn't ride it last year, but I've been riding that boy, so shit, I don't mind. Come on, man, what the fuck are you doing, bro? God damn. It's like it, y'all. Yeah, man. Time to get out and make me get some steps in when we get you a bike, man. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I throw my backpack on. I don't be grabbing too much anyway. I make my little whatever runs. I kind of do me a 1-for-1 while I'm at the plantation. If I gotta stop at the damn Walmart, it's all in the same street. So I ain't going out of the way doing nothing. And I can't even imagine people that's, you know, with, you know, daycare, you know, gotta deal with children. And then that's something I don't have to deal with as well, you know. So call Elohim like Yahweh Bashimi Awashai, man. I can't imagine having to, you know, try and pay for daycare, and you gotta, you know, pay for gas to pick them up and drop them off, and you gotta go to work, you gotta go over here, you gotta go over there. I can't imagine none of that shit, bro. I'm you know, I'm thankful to the Lord that he, you know, he hasn't stressed me in that way, because that's you know, people just like, and then you gotta everything, bro. You going, you trying to feed your kids the fucking groceries, it's through the damn roof. Fucking half gallon of fucking gas. I mean, shit, milk is like $6 a gallon. Straight up. It depends on where you go, you know. Eggs, all that shit is about to go up, man. Because I mean, you got to realize that, hey, that damn diesel cost, man. That diesel has been above $5 a gallon for weeks. And there don't seem to be no clearance in sight, man. So people are about to, you know, people about to start losing it. Yeah, a lot of shit going on out here. Pentagon releases $400 million in Ukraine aid. Like, motherfucker, you need to be releasing that $400 million to the Americans. But see, they got all this shit going on. They don't give a fuck, bro, because they know that you people, you're not gonna stand for anything. You're not gonna get out. If you get out, you're just gonna march and beat your fucking feet. You know what I'm saying? With some stupid ass posters that you created at your house. That they know that's all you're gonna do. They know you're not gonna really get out here on no job. But it's coming to a point where these people about to get physical. They about to get physical. It's coming. It's coming because it's prophetic anyway. These people are tired, man. People are tired. Especially this younger generation. They like, shit, what the fuck? Motherfuckers got student debt. I don't even know why they even go to college. You might as well just go get you a trade. I get it. You need doctors. You need your little lawyers. All this little shit like that. But even jobs like that are played out. Going to school all that time, doing all that shit, paying on, and then you get out, you got $300,000-$400,000 in student debt loan you trying to pay off. By the time your ass turns 60, you might finally get to pay that shit off, and then you start to somewhat enjoy, you know, some of the fruits of your labor, so to speak. Anyway, though, yeah, this kind of stuff right here has got people wigging, man. Israel set 2-week deadline for Lebanon deal. Warns of escalation. Well, we know it's going to be an escalation because you Edomites, that's all you know. All you know is war. So I don't even know why people even believe in these people. King Charles Arnold honors 9/11 victims in first Royal NYC visit in 16 years, which we know that was some Edomite shit. Inside job type shit. See? Bunch of Edomites, man. When you scroll through the news, all you see is Edomites. They're the ones that's running the planet. That Job 9:24. Here you go with this. Another weapon. Sitcom seeks first ever Dark Eagle hypersonic missile use against Iran. Yeah, that's Esau, man. Esau gonna get he gonna get down with that. He can't help himself. He can't help himself, man. That's like a PlayStation 5 to a kid. You know, he's constantly, those are toys to him, and he's a big ass fucking kid. He has to play. He likes playing with his favorite toys, man. And then, you know, he gets the bigger, better upgrade, you know what I'm saying, as they make more and more. He's a big fucking kid when it comes to these weapons, bro. But that's Esau. I mean, that's his blessing. He can't help himself. Look at this. House adopts budget plan for $70 billion in ICE funding. That's what I was saying. So you got all these billions of dollars to go towards these, you know, harassing the shit out of your citizens. But you don't have no money. Trump straight said it. No, we don't have no money for no health care. We don't have no money for Medicaid and all this other stuff. We don't have no money for this or that. But we got money for war. We got money for war. And they don't care, man. They don't feel it. They not feeling it at the pump. Trump not pulling up at the pump, man. These people are not pulling up at the pump. You think Air Force One, you think that their jet fuel is going up? You think Trump worried about jet fuel for his shit? Nah, they not worried about any of that because they living it up on the taxpayer. Remember all that money they was wasting on all that damn food? Shrimp, crab, and lobster and shit. Spending billions of dollars. Pentagon spending all that money on bullshit. They don't care about you regular citizens, and that's what's gonna make these people turn up. That scripture that talks about they shall not regard their kings or priests. I mean, Salakia. What a fact. Yeah, this whole second Ezra chapter 15 about to play out soon. Getting ready to pull up somewhere. I gotta grab something. So they shall not regard their kings and their princes. Where is it at? It's a lot. No, I'm in the wrong. I'm thinking not second. I'm talking about second address. Quoted that wrong. Yeah, I'm at this light, so I'm gonna read it. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands," that gunplay. "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." So they're not going to regard who's the mayor. They can fuck the governor, fuck the senator, fuck you, Trump. We're trying to eat. We're hungry. Man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. And that could be for a number of reasons. Could be so goddamn chaotic out here that you don't want to go nowhere. And then at the same time too, they spending that 70 billion on ICE, because ICE is not just for, you know, so-called immigrants. You can think that if you want to. ICE is gonna be out here for you regular fucking Americans. See, that was all a front. You believed in your so-called king, that he, you know, he was trying to, you know, make your country safer. But with the shit that he been doing, where people can't afford food and can't afford, you know, bills and can't afford just general life, how is that keeping the country safe? People, motherfuckers, are about to start robbing. And it goes into that. It says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of lack of bread and for great tribulation. And that's what's happening, and that's what's coming. So I'm pretty much at my destination. And yeah, Esau, he really thinks that he's just so fucking smart, bro. He's a fucking, the Lord really got this guy delusional, and it's a beautiful thing to see, because he actually really thinks that he has wisdom, like he's just so damn smart, bro. But you can see all these dumbass moves that the Lord got him making, and it's not going well, man. So again, pray, walk circumspectly out here, not as fools but as wise, like the scripture says. Be alert, you know, because people about to start getting down, man. These people, well, motherfuckers already robbing and stealing and been robbing and stealing. But just think, when you don't have what you really need, you know what I'm saying, so to speak, man, these people losing it. These motherfuckers, you know, this is a whole different generation of fucking weirdos, man. So shit about to get drastic here. So, you know, again, keep your head on the swivel. Be watchful, and definitely always pray. Can't get enough of that. Pray without ceasing, man. So with that, pray that the lesson was edifying. Kwame Yashala and the Bible Ball.